Greetings, comrades, and hello, everybody. I'm Quint866, and I have to fix my collar real quickly. My apologies. Okay, here we go. Let's try that again, then. Greetings, comrades, and hello, everybody. I'm Quint866, and this video isn't going to be necessarily, well, me talking about anything really that's relevant to my channel, but it's going to be more relevant to my childhood, because as a lot of people know, I'm a nostalgia guy. I'm a guy who loves nostalgic things. However, there are some few examples in times when you tell someone about something that's nostalgic to you, and they're like, what is this nostalgic thing? I've never heard of it. And that is why I'm going to say some of my most nostalgic and emotionally nostalgic memories I've ever had. In fact, I have an explanation for some of them. At least for most of them. Some of them I don't have an explanation for, but these are my most emotionally nostalgic moments. Let's pick up. Let's go! Street Fighter 2010 The Final Fight. It is a bit confusing, I'll admit, but it's a good challenge of a game, and you know what, people? I actually owned it. And you know what? I still have my copy of it. But it's not because of the game's challenges or its, confusing title that led me and my brother to playing it. Of course, we never beat it. We never got past the last level of Area 3 in the sand. However, we had so many memories playing this game. Like, it was just so cool. This game had so many cool things. And this one stage brings back so many nostalgic tears to my eyes, because I remember playing this level with alongside my brother. My brother actually played the level, but he actually let me give him tips. I cheered him on every now and then. I told him to watch out if there's an enemy attack coming. He's older than me, so he probably didn't need it, but he still wanted it, because he wanted to include me, and it was just so nostalgic. Like, guys, this one stage brings back so many nostalgic tears. I can't help but say, dang, I'm glad I had a brother that really let me do this with him. And really, guys, there's nothing that special, brings back nostalgia, except for the music. The music of the stage reminds me of the Mega Man era, and Mega Man is my favorite video game character of all time. And like Mega Man and Proto Man being brothers, this kind of reminds me of that, era, and it's just, Mega Man and Proto Man are like a fictional version of me and my brother. It's so cool. I'll even give you a little demo of the track of how awesome it is, and how much nostalgic it brings to me. Guys, I'm sorry. I know I'm crying because of a minor thing, but guys, it's just one of those memories you gotta treasure, know what I mean? It's just one of those memories, you wish you could relive over and over again. And my brother, since, I miss him so much, it's hard for me, not to get teary at this. But anyways, this was a very good game. However, with all good things, there has to be a bit of bad. And admittedly, there were some things that actually scared me in this game. I know, shocking, an 8-bit game about Street Fighter, which may not seem, that scary, actually scared me a bit. Well, it wasn't really anything specific. I don't really have a good explanation for this, but I'll come up with the best logical thing I can come up with at the top of my head. So, here's what scared me in this game, of all things. Now, it wasn't this purple knight, swinging mace guy thingy that scared us directly, but it was something after that scared us. Well, more me. My brother wasn't really scared of it, but I was, because it was mysterious, and it wasn't the only time something like that happened in the game. You see, every time you'd fight a couple certain stages, you'd go to a certain part or world in the game that was like a mid-stage gate that was kind of spooky. Which sounds, kind of mysterious as is, but then the noises start. Are you scared yet? No? Oh, okay then. Well, now it's time to explain why this scared the living piss out of me as a kid. Now, what really scared me about this level wasn't anything that special. I mean, it's just kind of a nitpick I have. Like, okay, I'm having trouble phrasing this, guys. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, so here's how it works. It wasn't what was there that scared me. It was what wasn't there. You see, guys, like a lot of people who wanted to become a video game designer when they grew up because they loved video games as a kid, they're thinking, wow, we should, do all this crazy stuff, put in these, unique and original levels that are, cool and are filled with things to do. And here's why it scared me. This empty, void, rift, or dimensional gate, whatever, scared me because there was nothing in it. It was empty. There was no enemies to kill, just a portal to win the level. And if you don't touch the portal, well, you lose a life. But that's really the only thing. And what scared me was, why is there no enemies there? Why is it just there? Why is it in the game in the first place? It's mysterious. The music is droning, low tone, and just tense overall. And the background is mysterious. It spooked me as a kid. Maybe not my brother, but it spooked me because, well, admittedly, I was smart. I certainly thought things a little too deeply sometimes. So, yeah. Street Fighter 2010 had its good moments and its bad moments. But I think it deserves a lot more credit than it typically gets. I mean, it's a good game overall. Speaking of games that are forgotten about, let's move on to another game I think that's pretty forgotten about. Why does no one ever talk about this game? I think it's pretty dang good. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 1, 2, and 3 I think are all really decent platformer games. And they're very creative with the whole Australian, atmosphere. Because not a lot of games have that kind of theme to them. And I love this boss fight against the shark, Cricky. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. But I love this boss fight. I remember always pronouncing it Cricky, so please bear with me and don't tell me it's Crikey or whatever. I'm just going to pronounce it the way I pronounce it. Anyways, Cricky was one of my favorite bosses, not only because he was a decent challenge, but because it was actually a very tense boss fight. While it didn't scare me as a kid, it actually more or less made me kind of get over my fear of another thing that scared me in this game, which I'll get to later. Well, actually, no, not in this game, but in another Ty the Tasmanian Tiger game. This boss fight alone, because I hadn't beaten both Ty games yet, because I only have 1 and 2, I haven't played 3 yet. However, point is that one time I had played Ty the Tasmanian Tiger and got up to Bull's Pen. However, I never got past it, or I got past the first boss, but I didn't get past any levels after it. when I finally got to Cricky, or Crikey, or I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. I finally said, you know what, I might as well try it. I got to Crikey, and I had already played Tide 2 Bush Rescue, and after beating Crikey, or Cricky, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm really sorry, I'm mixing up so badly today. I finally decided to take on another boss that scared me, and this boss fight's awesome, guys. It's a good, decent challenge, it was fun, it was fair, and most importantly, Cricky is actually a decent boss. I mean, he wasn't that difficult, I'll admit, but he was a good challenge if you were new to the game. And I'll admit, I love this game to this date. In fact, I used to wear a pair of swim trunks, red ones at that, with flowers on them, like a Hawaiian flower. And I have 2 paper boomerangs by my side and pretend to be Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. The paper boomerangs didn't work out too well, but even in that case, still a great game. However, there was one thing that scared me. Another boss, believe it or not. And you'd think probably, well, Cricky's scary. How come he isn't on the scary boss list? Well, that's because he's a shark. I mean, I live very far inland, so cut me some slack, alright?
That poor shark was a cybernetic pawn of Boss Cass.
Good God, this guy used to scare the living crap out of me as a kid. And I really don't know why. It just, Buster the Nanobot used to scare me so much to the point that I pretend I couldn't beat the volcano rescue mission. And I have that as my last mission, of course, before this boss. I pretend I couldn't beat that mission, so I never had to face this boss. But eventually, I had to man up and face it. However, people, this boss fight is just so creepy. Like, not anymore that much, but it is still a little bit. I mean, what mainly scared me about the fight is that Buster the Nanobot looks scary. I mean, he's all these little robot things, and he's controlled by, like, this one core, and I don't know, I found that really creepy as a kid. More importantly, this fight isn't actually that hard, which might not benefit my case, but it still is rather scary because this giant yellow nanobot figure chases you around this muddy lake-like area. And having chased around something that's bigger than you can't attack directly is actually pretty scary in its own rights. I will also mention that the music is kind of weird too and robotic, so it kind of spooked me. And more importantly, guys, there's no escape from this fight. I kept looking around the lake for a way to escape this boss fight when I finally manned up and tried to fight it again. Because my brother and sister fought it, and, well, they fought it for me, and I wanted to go back to it, see if I could overcome my fear. And thinking, oh, maybe I can just run away from him. Nope, there is no escape in this arena. No safe spots, no places to hide. Not like in Patchy, how you can hide behind certain objects to kind of protect yourself temporarily, but here, you have no such luck. So this boss fight scared me mainly because the boss was intimidating, it chased you around, you couldn't attack it directly, like it's not always vulnerable, and most importantly, the music is actually pretty scary. I mean, it feels kind of distorted, and it's just creepy, and Buster himself looks really weird in a scary way. However, once I finally got the deadly ring, this fight was a lot more manageable. But even in that case, I still had to fight this boss fight if I ever wanted to continue Tide 2, which I eventually got over my fear and did. But Buster the Nanobot will always be one of the things that genuinely scared me. In fact, I actually screamed when Buster grabbed Ty at the level prior to this. And I really wanted to beat the living piss out of Fluffy too, which was very satisfying to do as the third boss. But I don't know why, people. It's just Buster, he's creepy. It's just, ugh. And I don't know why the guy isn't doing this in his footage, but you can actually bite the nanobots to kill them. You know, so he has less armor to guard himself or the core, so I don't understand why he's not doing that. Oh yeah, and Buster can shapeshift not in just a humanoid form, he can bounce like a ball, he can go into a puddle and absorb your health, stuff like that, which is kind of creepy. And if you're thinking, what? You're stupid. A shark is way more likely to run into than a robot. Well, fine, you can argue that, but I was a child then, guys. I was a 5 to 7-year-old child. And my imagination was still wild, so you gotta cut me some slack. Plus, sharks were actually cool to me as a kid. They were rather cool. Here, a robot made of yellow nanites, I guess, was pretty creepy, and I knew he could come after me because if just one of those yellow little nanite eyes saw me, they'd all come over and chase me and I'd have to fight. See, this is why it's scary. But enough about me. Let's talk about how I eventually got through this fight. After fighting Cricky or Crikey in Taiwan, I decided, you know what? And I was about 10 at the time. I said, you know what? I'm gonna beat him. I'm going to beat Buster the Nanobot once and for all. I never got to him until my 11th birthday, where I finally got to Buster the Nanobot, and I beat him because my gaming skills were better. I was a lot more resourceful. I wasn't too afraid of him anymore. Well, I was still a little bit, but I was still able to, you know, try at least. I had the quotes in my mind. If you try something, blah, blah. If you want to fight something that you probably don't win, there's no hurt in not trying. Especially if you're not the one who's fighting. And if it's a character in a fictional video game that fights for you and you're just controlling them. So, yeah, that's all the explanation I got. However, guys, Buster the Nanobot is just intimidating because I knew he could find me if just one of those millions of eyes could see me. So, yeah. There's a horror story for ya. Buster the Nanobot, one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in video games, actually scared me as a kid. Yep. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that Buster the Nanobot actually doesn't have any... Oh, god. I forgot to mention, when I beat this guy, the outro sequence actually kind of creeped me out too, with this tentacle thing coming at me. And I had to run. And of course, there was no quick time events, it was just a cutscene. But it was just creepy. However, it all made up when this happened. Seeing him explode, or at least the core explode, was so god-dingissing satisfying. And then the boss itself gives me a thumbs up saying, good job, you killed me, you got over your fear. Now that is what I call a glorious victory. And that's it, everyone. Now, this is just a general pilot for one of these new kinds of videos I'm doing. But until then, this will be it. If I get more likes on this video, I'll continue the series. So I'm Quint866, everyone. Have a good one.